Hello everyone, welcome to second episode of Super Builders. We are here today at beautiful Split Startup Village doing podcast with some of the brightest minds of our industry, and therefore we have a special guest today, and our guest is Callahan, which is doing performance marketing in Solana. Welcome friend, glad to see you here.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Obviously, I love Split. I love Superteam Balkan. I love you as a friend and as a colleague. So
Same, bro. So let's enjoy this talk.
Oh, 100%.
For people who don't know about Solflare or about Callahan, what the heck are you doing? So can you please introduce yourself to public?
Yeah, sure. So my real name is Tin, also better known as Callahan in Web3 or on Solana. I'm performance marketing lead in Solflare. Basically, I do every kind of user acquisition or retention activities that Solflare does. My team and I handle that. And for the past 5 years now, I've been pretty much doing the same thing for Solana projects and helping them grow in terms of user acquisition, but also brand awareness and stuff like that, which obviously in the end brought overall growth to the projects themselves, but also to the communities of those projects and companies.
You did a great job, and you're still doing a great job. And everyone now knows about Solflare rebranding. It's really nice. So great job to that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a pretty huge endeavor, I would say, especially since for the past 5 years everybody has known Solflare with that sun logo. Yeah. But the funny thing is that logo was actually made in like Paint, Microsoft Paint, in like 2 hours or so, and Vidor was like, yeah, just ship it and let's go with it. And it stuck for like 4 years or 4.5 years. And yeah, after that, we simply just thought that it was the time to maybe get more serious, have a brand kit, move towards some other audience and so on. And for us to do so, we definitely thought that it's time for a rebrand and for a change in that area.
Yeah, we will touch on that topic a bit later.
Sure.
So you are like working in the space for 5 years, but what is your background and like what are you doing outside of crypto?
Yeah, so I've been basically in marketing for the past 12, 13 years. I've started my first job as a community manager, but in Web2. So basically on Facebook, I think. Back then it was Facebook. And the whole concept of community was appealing to me even then in Web2, where people used to follow Facebook pages and so on, talking about different stuff. It was some retail company that sells shoes. So that was the first time I like touched grounds with marketing. And basically ever since then, I worked for, I would say, 90% of industries from retail, automotive, tech industries, and so on. And worked my way up to performance marketing and data-driven marketing, which was somehow the most appealing to me. Mm-hmm. And for the past 7 years, I have been a performance marketer in one marketing agency, where I also work with global brands on their growth and performance campaigns and user acquisition campaigns. And then 5 years ago, I simply started to learn more about crypto, about the whole technology of it, the industry itself, and so on. And it somehow ignited the passion in me, like that community job that I had 13 years ago also ignited the passion for marketing. So this time I realized, okay, this crypto thing is something that I want to pursue in the next I don't know, years, decades. And I simply started to connect with people, network. That was the time I met Voshi from Blessed Control, and we started also working together on some projects. And yeah, step by step, grind by grind, rug pull by rug pull. And I ended up at Solflare, which I said it many times, I said it again, it's a dream come true, basically. So for me to be able to combine that area of marketing with Solana and with blockchain, it's simply amazing. So here we are today.
Yeah, man, and I'm also really happy that in a way I had like my role in you becoming performance lead for Solflare.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, when I joined DKS, so basically Dead King Society, I met Sharp and so on, and we started working with Techros and so on. And then obviously one of my roles there, or basically goals, was to expand the network of clients for Techros. So I started talking with different projects. I started talking with you, and maybe we can bring some value to Superteam Balkan and so on. But then you said, wait a minute, why are you doing this? Like, there is a software, a Balkan-based company which is huge and is doing everything that you are trying to do now. So, like, just talk to them. I will connect you with Miro. I think you connected with Miro, and we started talking, and one thing led to another. And then I met Maki, and who is their community architect. And basically, I would say that 3 weeks later, I was on a drinks with Philip, who is a co-founder, and I mean, you definitely played a huge role in my journey towards Soulflare. So thank you so much for that. Because
bro, it's a pleasure, especially like seeing how you are growing and how Superteam is growing and how Soulflare is going. Yeah. It's so good to have all of us together working 100%. On the same things, man.
Nothing brings me more pleasure than to see like not only my personal growth, but also the growth of the whole community and all the people that I am connected to within the space. So I mean, people say, you know, everybody here is for some selfish reasons and so on, to make profit and so on. I would say to some extent yes, but also when you are surrounded by people who are genuinely happy for other people that they are making in life, basically, that's the kind of people I wanted to be around with. So you're definitely one of them, and same. Yes.
What is interesting is that only possible on Solana, man. Like, you just meet someone, talk with him, and 3 weeks later, I love that. I love that about Web3.
Dude, like, I've been in Web2, as I said, for 13 years. I've met a lot of CEOs, board members, people from the highest positions you can in companies, and I never had the opportunity to grow as fast as I could on Solana. And basically, there are so many boundaries or obstacles that you have to pass in Web2 to get to a level where you do your job, but you just don't feel appreciated enough or valued enough, especially from the point of view of basically earning your earnings from month to month and so on. When, as opposed to in Solana, you actually, oh wow, this thing that I do is actually valued this much. Like, people appreciate it on that much level, and that was like a mind-blowing thing for me. And yes, as I said, a dream come true, and I couldn't be happier.
I can feel that, and I love it. For people like who know you only from like business side, who are you when you are not crushing marketing?
Okay. When I'm not crushing marketing, I'm a Formula One lunatic who is deeply into car racing, cars, tuning cars.
I saw that.
Speed, performance. Even in this sense, I like performance. So I'm just a car junkie or petrol head. You call me whatever you want. But I also like sports, gaming. So basically, all the projects that are now, for example, in Web3 that are gaming centered, I simply adore them because I'm some sort of a geek myself. So I've been through League of Legends, World of Warcraft, you know. I still play World of Warcraft today. So one of my favorite hobbies, that is, whenever my wife goes to a trip, you know, I'm like stuck behind a computer for the next 12, 14, 16 hours playing World of Warcraft. So I would say that this simple guy, you know, give me a fast car and a keyboard to game, and I'm the happiest man on the planet.
I love that, bro. And I was just talking with people about the gamers, and we were talking about like how gamers are going into Web3 and how it's like a similar niche. And I thought, like, why is that happening? And then we came to a realization while talking, basically, bro, I used to be a gamer as well. I could sit for like 12 hours a day playing games. Now I'm doing the same, just in Web3. But like we actually, without even knowing, built a habit of sitting at computer for like hours.
Years until we pass out, and the moment when I stopped gaming, like hardcore gaming, it's when I actually my career in Web2 started to develop further, and I simply couldn't find the time to game as much. But then on Solana, when I got introduced to NFTs, and in 2021 when NFT bull run was like raging and it was so crazy and insane, I felt that same drive in me that World of Warcraft or gaming used to provide for me. So I was able to feel like a part of something. Like in World of Warcraft, I have these guilds and people I play with and so on. But in NFTs, I joined Discords, talked to people. We all had similar interests and so on. We were trading, buying, minting, everything happening. And I felt that rush again. And as you said, sitting 12 hours behind the keyboard, just hitting the Discord chats,
the macros.
and macros, and farming the whitelist. That was that moment that drew me even more to Solana and the communities as well. So yes, I think that like 90% of people that I meet at Solana used to be a gamer or is a gamer still today.
And it's like a gamified experience, like
100%.
leveling up in Discord, farming whitelist.
That's
it's
right.
all the same.
Yes,
bro.
that's right. It's all the same. Yeah.
So when did you start with Solana, and how did you pick Solana? What drew you like towards it?
I think that's the funniest part of all. So basically, in 2020, I was talking to one of my closest friends. We were having a coffee and so on, and he then told me about crypto and about everything, and I was like, "Is that scam thing or whatever? What? Like, let's shut up and let's talk about Formula One, And he told me, look. Do you remember 30 years ago when our parents got first introduced to the internet and to the browsing, search engines and so on? And they were also like, this won't stuck. Don't even bother it. Like it's some sort of a whim or whatever. And I don't want to be my parents in 30 years' time talking about crypto like they do now about the internet. And that alone made me install. At the time, Binance, because it was the only exchange that I knew. Of course, there was also FTX and so on. And then I was like, and he said to me, just go through the coins, explore a bit, Google about it and so on. But my degen side of me just went through coins, and I was like, okay, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot or whatever and so on. And Solana was just launched like 3 months prior to that. And I came to Solana, and I said, oh, I like the logo on this one. and Solana back then was trading at like $1 or $1.80 or something like that. And I was like, I'm going to buy a bunch of those because the logo is simply amazing. I like the neon, stuff and the colors and everything. And I bought like pretty decent amount. And three months after that, the bull run happened. Sol went up to 200. And I was like, what the fuck have I done? Like, wow. And I was embarrassed for a long time to say, I was like, yeah, I bought Solana because I knew it was going to be the next big thing, and so on. and I bought Solana because I like the logo. But it was as something drew me to Solana, something, I don't know, the universe, you call it whatever. Something drew me to Solana, and it was the first coin I bought, and it will be the last coin I bought. I can promise you that today. Then I started to learn more about Solana, started meeting people of Solana, learn about how superior it is compared to Ethereum and to other blockchains and so on. And basically one thing led to another. I got involved so deeply into it that I'm today, as I said, when people talk about their crypto experiences, they're like, oh, I used to be Ethereum maxi and now I'm Solana maxi. I was always a Solana maxi. Like from the very beginning, my portfolio was 100% in Solana, and it is still today. So as Solfer tweeted like 2 months ago, my portfolio is 100% Solana, 0% out. So, and that is
same.
The story about Solana for me.
I love the story and that you are honest, because you could say like, Oh, I was so smart back then.
Yeah,
But for people who are like hearing word degen, basically this is a proper like degen mindset, you
Yeah.
know. But of course,
Yeah.
sometimes it brings you to great things.
Yeah, I mean, if your heart is in place, if your intentions are in place, I think that some sort of like higher force will somehow lead you to the right choices and to the right moments in the future. So I don't know. I'm a religious guy, so obviously I also have that moment in my life also. But somehow I feel if I do good for other people and for myself and have like genuine intentions, somehow He will, guide me.
Do its own ways.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. I
Yeah.
feel the same. I do the same. That's
Yeah.
the reason why we are such good friends.
Yeah.
And I think that in a world like crypto, where everyone is looking at short-term pumps and everything, I think that it's a superpower to actually have your heart in the right place and do things with good intentions.
100%.
And it can take you so much more.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of opportunities I had to scam somebody with somebody else, to pull a rug pull, to do something that for me didn't feel right at the moment, countless opportunities. But I just don't want to build my presence in the space in that way. I don't want to be a rugger. I don't want to earn money on people's backs. And basically, all I want to do is be as honest and as right as I can. And I think that whole mindset brought me where I am today. So I hope that it will also bring me joy in the years to come. But I totally agree with you.
I'm sure it will, bro. I'm sure it will. So how does your day-to-day looks like it's Solver as doing what you're doing?
Okay, so basically, it's all about the data. It's all about analytics, about how are we performing in all areas when it comes to not only performance marketing like paid ads or whatever, but also on socials with the community, with our growth campaigns and so on. So basically, all I do is interact with other team leads who are leading our socials, growth team, and so on, and trying to understand how are we actually performing and are we hitting our KPIs when it comes to growth, what did we achieve with a certain campaign, what could be done better, how can we improve, and of course, in my domain, and that is paid ads and of course performance marketing, I obviously also do the same. We optimize with different target audiences, trying to understand how do we approach different people from the space and people who are not yet in the space and who we want to onboard in crypto, and basically then figure out with the designers, with our video editors and so on, how do we prepare the content for them and what messaging do we want to bring, and of course, what channels will bring us the most value, starting from Reddit, X, Meta, Google, you name it. Basically, everything that can bring that overall growth is my and also Biba's job, who is our head of growth. So we are pretty much data-centered and trying to understand what are we achieving with all of our campaigns.
Mm-hmm. And you were speaking about onboarding new users, but also there is a challenge with retention. So how are you handling those two challenges?
Oh yeah, like you can have 200,000 downloads of the Solver app, and if of those 200,000, like 15 people actually do something within the app, you basically failed. So retention is always a struggle, even in Web2 companies, but especially in Web3, because people, I feel that are either afraid of interacting with crypto, connecting their card, to on-ramp for the first time or whatever. But also when they do on-ramp, then they're afraid to interact with different dApps, different platforms, dashboards, with even like the big names like Magic Eden, Tensor, I don't know, Meteora, like Jupyter. Like I had this friend of mine asking me, what is this Jupyter thing? Is that safe? And I was like, yeah, this is the biggest exchange that you can go to on Solana, and it's the safest place for you to connect your wallet. So don't be afraid, just connect, swap, and it will be okay. But their due diligence is not in the right place. So definitely, our main concern at the moment, not concern, but challenge, is to educate people enough to understand how to act in crypto, how to basically manage their whole portfolio, and how to interact with, as I said, different dApps, platforms, dashboards. And then we can have definitely more growth towards that retention rate where we want people to actually use the product and to realize how beneficial for them is to use the product, but also all of these other protocols that are currently active on Solana. So tackling that challenge of education, but also for people to understand the benefits of using the products is definitely something that we are trying to balance, and then have the right also balance between user acquisition, but user retention as a result of all of these activities that we do.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of work, but you're doing it really good. And
Thank you.
as someone who is also doing education and onboarding, what do you think is the best way, or what are some of the campaigns that work the best in your past that are onboarding people, and what is the message that you're trying to send? How are you approaching that? And also, if you can share some of the either one or few of the most successful campaigns that bring you new users in.
So, for example, when it comes to education and how people can utilize crypto for their own well-being. I think that the best example are high inflation countries like Venezuela, Argentina, Balkans, Turkey, Nigeria, and so on. And we basically targeted our campaigns toward those people to educate them how they can utilize crypto in a way to actually either work in crypto or get paid in crypto, or whatever income they're getting from their Web2 jobs to on-ramp on crypto to protect their assets in a more stable currency, like, for example, is USDC or USDT, and for them not to be affected as much by the raging inflation inside of their own countries. And we saw a massive adoption for crypto, for example, as I said, in Turkey, Nigeria, Ghana, Zambia, especially in African countries where inflations are and governments are so corrupt. I mean, even in the Balkans, of course, but compared to Africa, definitely not in that sense. So I mean, in the past 6 to 8 months, Nigerian people were so adaptive towards crypto, and they literally send us messages and testimonials of how crypto literally changed their lives because they are using USDC and are protected in that way from the inflation and corrupted governments that they have to deal with on basically every single day. So I would say that is a great example of how to approach those kind of markets. But when it comes to campaigns in general, I would say that incentives, like providing some sort of value for people who are just starting on Solana and giving them some sort of rewards, cashbacks, as I said, more incentives to basically start to learn about crypto and so on. I mean, Grid Academy is a great example for onboarding people to crypto, where you can learn, but also you can earn with staking your soul. And it doesn't even have to be a great amount of soul. It can be one soul. You just take one soul, learn, and you will get rewarded for learning how to utilize the whole crypto ecosystem, and for staking, and basically you will learn how to stake, but also you will learn through the lessons how to use the whole ecosystem properly. So that was the reason why we actually partnered up with them. We are the main sponsor for Grid Academy. And campaigns like that just want to share that message of self-custody, importance of financial independence, owning your assets in your Solfer wallet, and of course, one of the, for now, most successful campaigns is, and I'm pretty sure that it will be, Solfer cards, where it's the next level or moment in that self-custody moment that we want to produce. So basically, you will be able to spend your crypto directly from your wallet, and you won't need to top up any third-party apps or dashboards and so on. So I think that self-custody moment is where we want to educate people on, and to make them realize how beneficial it is to use crypto as opposed to Web2 and traditional banking systems.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
We were talking about yesterday with Simon, you need to have your why. Basically, by learning people about crypto, it can literally change their lives.
Yes.
What is better why than that? Literally, especially in those countries, and also shout out to Superteam Nigeria. They are doing great things.
100%.
It's really similar to here in the Balkans, and I love that. And it's really good thing that we can communicate to people. Hey, this can help you. This can save your life. And also, from my experience, we need to communicate to people that we are actually not asking anything from them, because we have this mindset. Okay, what do I get? What do I give? You know, we need to do it on a proper way. And I'm really glad that you share this knowledge with us. It's really valuable. And for anyone's listening to this, this is the way to do things. Teach people. Education is the alpha, and it will always be.
100%. Yeah.
So you are tracking a lot of data, and obviously Web 2 and Web 3 are like different. How do you approach tracking data in Web 3? What do you think of as a successful campaign? Like, how are you handling those things?
Yeah, of course, Web 2 and Web 3 are like worlds apart when it comes to tracking data and tracking users, especially because in Web 3, you know, everybody is protectful of their own identities and their anonymity, especially in these decentralized ecosystems. So in Web 2 it's easy. You set up Google Analytics, you set up cookies on your website, you can do all the tracking, you implement the pixels from Meta, Twitter or Reddit and so on, and you can basically know everything about the user as you want. But here it's a bit more complicated because, as I said in my workshop, the crypto is still very much unregulated in most countries. It's still a bit of a gray zone, and even like big platforms like X, Meta, Google are still uncertain with which licenses do crypto companies need to have to be able to advertise and collect data in a manner in which Web2 companies can do from day to day. So even though the laws on a country levels are pretty much clear, and for example for Solfair, which is a non-custodial wallet, the law is pretty much straightforward, and it says you can advertise without any licenses whatsoever because you are not holding the user funds in your system. But Meta and X are saying you need this license. So basically there is so much like
discrepancy.
Yes, and contradictory going on between the laws and everything. So it's a tough task to tackle, but we did manage to actually get the data from our marketing efforts and actually to bring some sort of conclusions towards our teams when it comes to the personas that we are engaging with and how are they behaving on our website, and are they interacting with our ads in a way that we would like them to. But then the next step is, okay, the user now clicked on the ad, he downloaded the wallet, but what is he now doing inside of the wallet? And that is another nightmare to tackle, because if a user sees, and you have to have a consent from a user to actually collect the data. So when a user sees like a pop-up that says, okay, do you agree or are you consent with us collecting your data, blah, 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 they are automatically thinking, oh, they will now track my portfolio, my swaps, what I do with my money. Am I now consenting for them to have access to my money and so on? So a lot of education is also needed in this part, where people need to understand it's all for marketing purposes. You can say no, you won't be retargeted by ads, everything and so on. But writing these consents and compliance things is also very, very difficult. And to implement that inside of the wallet is also very, very challenging, as I said, because of the mindset of people in crypto, where they simply don't want to be targeted, known, or whatever. They don't want to be tracked. So it's a hard thing to tackle, but I think that we're getting there slowly and surely as crypto is getting adopted more and more in the outside world. So people are getting more and more familiar with it and are starting to understand that it's simply, from a marketing point of view, similar to Web 2, just is another ecosystem and another technology that is behind it all. So very challenging, but I think we're getting there slowly but surely.
Yeah, and people need to like understand that in the end it's even good for them to give feedback and to be open, because then you can
Yeah.
improve user experience, whatever. But we are getting there definitely.
Yeah, but 100%. I mean, if a user gives their consent to track what is he doing inside of a wallet, so basically if you, for example, are using our feature for swap in the wallet the most, then the next feature or the next update for swaps will be first communicated to you, because we know that you are using the swap the most. And as you said, it's beneficial for people to actually give us feedback in terms of tracking their behavior inside the wallet, because you will in the end have the most benefit out of it, and we will be able to communicate the proper new features and updates to people who are actually using those features in the first place. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand that. As solver, what is your focus in terms of users? Are you focusing on getting more users, or you are focusing on improving the quality of users? For example, like they do more swaps, whatever. So what is the focus here?
Okay, that's a great question. Yeah, because the one thing is like when you go to Google Play or App Store and then you see like millions of downloads, but from those millions of downloads you have, I don't know, 98% of not quality users who are not generating revenue or not using the features of the product and so on. So I would say the answer is both. Like we definitely want to increase the number of downloads and extension installs, yes, but we definitely want to also bring more quality to the user and their LTVs in the end, months, years, decades. And I would say that also depends a lot on the markets, because, for example, Western countries, European Union, UK, USA, they are naturally producing more revenue because they have more money spending opportunities and so on. They have larger assets in their belongings. But yeah, I would say that we are definitely not excluding any markets or any communities and so on. We just want to educate people. Like if somebody from these high inflation countries, for example, from Serbia or Croatia, they don't have maybe the amount of money that an average
UK
citizen would have, but that doesn't matter. If you use our product, if you on-ramp your, I don't know, your salary, which doesn't have to be, like in thousands of euros, you will definitely get rewarded, incentivized. You will have benefits from using that, but also from just being part of the ecosystem and using the product. So that kind of user has the same value for us as a user who spends, I don't know, millions of dollars in revenue in wallet long term. Of course, short term, we will get more fees. We will get more, back from a user who, as I said, spends so much or swapping so much volume in a wallet. But long term, we definitely want to build that kind of trust and security across all markets in the world.
Yeah, and also to like stress that out, like once again, we need more long-term thinkers and builders.
100%, yeah.
Especially in this space, and that's the only way that I see fit for growing the pie in a really good way. So all of us build for next 10, 15 years. And it's funny in crypto when you say to someone, I'm building a company that should last for 20 years. He's like, are you mad or what?
Yeah. That's true. I mean, when I talked to Philip or Vidor, and I said, okay, what is your vision? Like, I want to hear it from you. What is your vision? Like, we are just starting. Like, we are 5 years old. We are just starting. Like, we just went from that startup mindset towards more of a company mindset, and we are just starting. Like, we see ourselves here for the next decades. We want to build that, as I said, self-custody hub for people around the world to be able to actually replace traditional banking systems. And when I heard that was like, if I can be a part of that kind of financial revolution, that's
count me in.
That you count me in, because in 30, 40 years time, when I will be 70 or whatever, I definitely want to look back and said, look, I was the part of building that.
Be a cool grand.
Yeah. Be a cool, yeah. And from a personal point of view, I stake my Solana for 3 years now, and I don't intend to unstake it for the next 10 years. until we flip Ethereum in market cap. That's my goal. Like when we flip Ethereum in market cap,
Sell some.
I'll maybe take some profits. But until then, I couldn't be bothered. Like I am locked in so long term that you can imagine. So yeah.
I love it. And I would say that one of the reasons why Solana is so successful is because Solana has people like you, like me. Bro, I can literally feel the power when you're speaking about something. I love that. I speak with so many founders on Solana, and all of them are, like, not all, but most of them are so passionate about it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I have to say, I remember like a funny story. I'm sure you will understand and relate. I was holding Cats and Crack.
I still hold like 15 of them.
So yeah, I was holding Cats and Crack when Solana post FTX, and it was going to like $8, like by speed of light. And I remember I was like sitting at my computer. I was in the alpha chat of holders of Cats and Crack, and literally everyone was copy pasting. If Solana goes to zero, I die with it. And I was like, buy. I never felt that passion anywhere.
100% sure. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. The conviction that the Solana community has, it's so out of this world. And even my wife, who is not that into crypto, she is now because of obviously what I do, but
she feels it.
Even 4 years ago, when she knew nothing about crypto, and I was putting all of our savings, into crypto. And when I talked about Solana with such passion, and when I showed her, and I'm so glad that you mentioned Cats on Crack, because I showed her so many Discords, and then I showed her Cats on Crack Discord. Messages flying, the generosity, crazy community, so much conviction, so much smart money people were there back in the day.
Crazy.
Degenerates, but also investors and so on. And when I showed her that, she was like, every single penny after that I spent on Solana, she was 100% behind me. Even when Sol went from like 200 plus to $8, I was like, look, we need to buy more, not sell. We need to buy more now. And she was like, oh yeah, of course. Like, and she didn't. So she felt that passion and she felt that conviction in me, but also in all of these communities. So it's still mind-blowing for me how Solana is so different from every other chain or every other basically aspect of business that I
ever witnessed.
Yeah, that's right. Man. So I'm so glad that you mentioned it.
Yeah, I love it, and I'm so happy and I'm so proud of all of us.
Yes.
Like, we are here now, Solana is doing great. I'm so proud, literally. Like, most of the times I just go back through my old screenshots and I'm like, wow, this is wild story. And something that I personally take a lot of joy in is that a lot of people that were like sticking it in the ground and like kicking boot Solana when it was 8, now they're like, oh shit, I should have bought.
But I saw like hundreds and hundreds of those tweets, like Solana is going to zero, we are so done, and then when the gods bridged to Ethereum, and that was like 1% of doubt in me, like, oh wait, if they are bridging to ETH and they were at like 1,000 Sol floor back then, I was like, are they maybe onto something here? And that lasted for like 5 seconds. I was like, no, let's buy more Solana. This is more bullish than bearish. And then 2 years later, they came back. Frank did what he did. But that was such a nice moment in me. Like, I told you so. Like,
I feel the same. I bought most of my Solana when it done post FTX, and so proud of that decision.
100%.
But honestly, now looking back at it, it was like easy in a way. That decision. Of course, it was risky and everything, but I was speaking with that community every single day. I felt like this is my home, this is my friends. I still feel that way. Yeah. And it paid off.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the friends, the community, the networking and so on. But after speaking with, I don't know, people from Boogles like Voshi or Silon or whatever, and with Dylan from founder of DKS, and so on. When I talked to those guys and Sol Big Brain, like an NFT doctor and so on, they were like, "What? Of course not. We're going to buy more." And then that tweet from Sol Big Brain.
Oh,
when
I
he
remember
bought
that.
when he bought like
5K, like 50K.
50,000
Solanas.
Solana at like
10, something like that.
10 something dollars, and I was like, this is your conviction. Like whoever is doubting Solana, this is your conviction.
Yeah.
And that tweet just like was imprinted in my brain for I would say for eternity. And after he bought so much, I honestly, of course, didn't have that much liquidity to pour in Solana, but whatever I had, all in. And funny story is, my best man from my wedding, he actually sold his furniture in his apartment to buy more Solana when Solana was trading at like 15. And he sold his couch, he sold his TV, his whole armoire, he sold everything just to put more in Solana. And 2 years later, he bought everything new, everything beautiful, everything on.
That.
And he made like 20, 30x of what he did back then. So that was the funniest story ever, but the smartest decision ever.
Only possible on Solana.
Only possible on Solana.
You don't hear stories like this anywhere else. Crazy. Let's go back to Solflare. So obviously Solflare is everywhere. They are helping, sponsoring, partnerships, content. Like you guys are smashing it across all over the world. Literally, like I see you everywhere. And my question here is, how important are grassroots communities like my own, like super teams, like and local events? Are like they doing a crucial role, and like how do you see them?
We had this talk at Solana Accelerate in New York with a lot of people that were asking us, okay, but why are you like your booth is amazing and so on, but why are you investing so much in community as such, but also in all of these local communities who are not yet even maybe onboarded in crypto, but are thinking in that direction. So basically, I think that the part where, for example, Phantom is, of course, they can afford being so casual about it and so on because they're so big and they're multi-chain and so on, and they had so much momentum going into 2021, 2022. But I think that they're definitely dropping the ball with this community thing, because if you don't have the community of Solana behind you, I think that you don't have anything long term.
I agree.
And I'm 100% sure that going by the end of 2025 and going into 2026, we will definitely see a great like swapping of places between us and Phantom, solely because of this community aspect, where super teams, as you mentioned, the builders, the developers of Solana, the local communities, even the OG NFT communities that we are now supporting and partnering up with, we definitely feel that you and all of us are the power of Solana. And if you build those relationships, if you listen to the feedback of all those communities and of the people of Solana, and then you actually build your products and features. We now have like 4 or 5 features being built solely because of the feedback that we got from super teams, from OG NFT communities. Even though NFTs are dead, it doesn't matter. The communities of those NFTs are so much alive, and they are still present. They are still here. They still want to invest. They still want to be a part of something. So when you have the community behind you, every single thing that you do, then you can definitely have the right results and people behind you, because you have a relationship with them and they feel that belonging to something with Solflare, and that is something that we want to build long term for sure.
I couldn't agree more. Community is everything, and community is the main reason, maybe not the main, but in my opinion, main reason why Solana survived crash. Pumped again.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
I totally agree. Community is really important.
Yeah.
Obviously, really big topic nowadays is AI. And what is your approach? What is your take, your opinion on AI, especially in terms of like marketing? Will it be more like AI automatizations? How do you see AI being implemented or shaping or changing Web3 marketing?
Yeah, I mean, AI has been huge lately, and I think that it's only evolving more and more. And we actually had like a discussion internally like a week ago, specifically on that topic, like how to utilize AI the most and how to get the most out of it to save ourselves some time, but also to bring the most like valuable solutions towards users, because AI obviously is getting smarter and smarter by the day. So I would say that definitely AI can and will maybe replace some sort of strategies going towards outside, because it can definitely compare the strategies done by some other companies before, then combine maybe those strategies towards best performing strategies and so on, help us in that manner. Obviously with content, like content ideas, content pushes, writing texts, writing blogs, writing, I don't know, different parts of our websites and so on. Definitely AI is very, very now important to us. But going into the future, I honestly don't even know what to expect, because AI is developing so fast that I'm not sure what part of in my job, it would nothing would bring me more joy that I can just input, like parameters. Okay, we have a campaign for our Solfer cards. I want to go on X, on Meta, on Google, and then AI handles it all, set up the campaigns, set up everything, optimizing the campaigns and so on. Even now that I said it, I realized that even now Meta and X, for example, do have AI-based algorithms within their ads platforms to optimizing the ads, which is helping us a great bunch. So I only think that that part will only evolve as we go further, and will definitely make our lives easier for us to be just able to delegate stuff and think about bigger picture, and maybe even like next pump.fun, pump fun. Moments in Solana, and AI to focus on this operational side of things for it to be as helpful for us as it can. So I think that AI is and definitely will be very important for Web3 marketing.
Yeah, I really agree with that. We recently did like a paid ad on Instagram for the Startup Village, and I saw that feature like AI optimization. And because obviously I'm not a marketing person, I was just trying to experiment. I turned on that feature, and that ad got 1 million views in Balkans. It was crazy, and it's still crazy for me, and it's just going much more crazier.
I mean, I have like 10 years of experience in the area, but even I, of course, have to like, if the ad is not performing in the way that I want to, I have to think about, okay, maybe the targeting is not right, maybe the placements are not right, maybe the format is not right, and so on. But I have to test it out, I have to implement it. But AI knows like instantly what's wrong and how to improve it, and that is mind-blowing to me. And if we can utilize AI in that manner on a larger scale, that will be, I would say, exponential growth for everybody who is smart enough to utilize and use the AI in the right way.
Yeah, man, completely agree. I want to slowly wrap this up, and I want to ask you, like, obviously, I already know the answer, but what was the most impactful campaign that you worked on, and how it impacted Solfer and the brand and everything?
Yeah, we touched on that in the beginning, but obviously our rebrand campaign, I just joined Solfer like 3 or 4 months before the rebrand went live. So the guys were already in the final stages of the rebrand, but that go-to-market strategy and marketing and growth strategies, I was pretty big part of it. And yeah, I think that's the most successful campaign that we did for years in the past, because like when all these other companies did their rebrands in Web 2, but also in Web 3, there is a lot of backlash. Like, oh, why did you do that? This is not good. We want the old logo back. We want the old brand kit back. We want the old colors back, and so on. But actually, there was no backlash with our rebrand. Everybody was so supportive. Everybody said this is looking so amazing. We love the colors. We love the logo. We like the new fonts and everything. And yeah, I mean, we saw some major increase in our data metrics, from growth on socials, from user acquisition point of view, downloads, new partnerships, new exposure that we had. So rebrand was so successful that I'm really proud of that campaign. And I'm pretty sure that it will be hard to do it again like that with some other campaigns, but it's definitely set the bar really high. But yeah, that campaign was really, really good. And of course, as we now talked about community, I felt that it was one of the main actors when it comes to that no backlash moment that we had, and support from all the communities around the world was simply why also the rebrand campaign was so successful.
Yeah, and it was really like everyone loved it, everyone was speaking
Yeah.
about it, so it
Yeah.
was really huge ways.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to ask, actually last two things. First, what is the similarity? What are the skills that you have built in your Web2 life that you can still use in Web3? What are the like important things that you have learned that you're using today?
Maybe the answer on this one will be semi-funny, but I'm from when I was a kid, I was so hyperactive and so on, and couldn't focus and on. I had borderline ADHD and I was struggling with that. So basically, when I started my career and so on, I started to suffer from that as I couldn't focus on one thing and to the other. And I started to learn more about it and so on. How can I focus more? How can I utilize my energy better to not be hyperactive at the times? You know, my leg was constantly like this and so on. That old saying, I left 9 to 5 to work 24/7 in crypto. That was actually the moment where in crypto you have so much going on, like on Telegram, on Discord, on Slack, or with Solfer, with all other project partnerships. It's crazy, and it never stops. It's 24/7. So this skill that I actually learned how to manage my hyperactiveness and ADHD definitely helped me also to manage all of this in crypto, which is far more insane, chaotic than Web2 is, but also for my brain that is going like at 100 miles per hour, it's actually soothing, you know, to have that much going on inside of the crypto, to be able to process everything. Mm-hmm. It's much more suitable for my brain to work in Web3 than it is in Web2, where everything is kind of boring and slow. And then my brain is like, okay, what's next? But here it's not what's next, because there is always something next, you know. So that is.
Wow, I love that, and I feel the same. Like it drives me this speed and everything. It's so good.
Yeah.
So last question, and maybe the most important one for the newcomers is, what is the advice that you can share to people who are new or who want to grow in the space, or like?
Yeah, I mean, I gave this advice to everybody who's joining crypto, and to all of my friends, my real life friends. My best friend, he joined crypto like 5 months ago, and I simply said, like, just start the grind, like just start working, and if you want to succeed, you have to put in the work. Like, I was working 9 to 5 job, and then when I got home, I worked from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. Grinding on Discord, grinding on Twitter, getting on calls and so on. Just grind, work your way up, connect with people, talk with people, buy at least some low entry point NFTs, not because of the NFT, but just to join that community, to be able to talk with people who are so deeply involved in the space. And don't be afraid to ask questions. People are always, oh, is this a dumb question? There is no dumb question. People will help you. People will get on. Dylan, for example, from DKS, when I first wanted to join DKS, I was like hesitant. Should I spend so much money and so on? And I reached out to him with this fear. Will he even answer to my, like, 5 minutes later, I was on a call with him. He talked me about everything in crypto and Solana, DKS, what they stand for, what they want to build, and so on and so on. Then I met Sharp, then I met you, and now I am at Solflare. So just ask questions, see who you need to follow on Twitter, reach out to them, and just be present. Just be present, be there, and I'm 100% sure that you will succeed. Either you are a developer, a marketing guy, salesperson, community, mod, whatever. Just be there, be present, talk to people, engage with people, and connect with people, and that's it.
Love it, man. Thanks so much for sharing the alpha and for being here.
Of course, thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much.